Hey, hello everybody. Yes, it is Thursday. It is 9, so it's UK Cowboys time. It is myself. I'm back after being a bit ill with food poisoning the last few weeks. But joining me is the great Paul, and it's a Christmas show.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, 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 ho. Yeah. Yes, it's episode 161. Pre-game show for this. Well, I say this weekend. It is this weekend's game. It's the Boxing Day game. 1:20 a.m. kickoff here in the UK. But that's okay, because it's Boxing Day. We'll pretty much be drunk anyway. But how you doing, Paul? I haven't spoken too much since you've come back from America. How you doing?
I know, mate. It's been a wee while. Like last time I spoke to you was when I was in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I was absolutely shit faced at my nut.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
you was really drunk, and I was buying a Christmas pasty in work.
yeah, that's right. Because of the time difference and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So, but yeah, man, it's good to see your face again, my friend.
Yeah, feeling a bit better.
Yeah, as long as you're getting good. But I see already. We're getting all the comments flying in already. Valenti's in the house, DJ Dog's in the house, Paul Woodward. Hey, you guys! It's Cowboys Nation in the UK. Love you guys. Much appreciated, my friend.
Yes,
much appreciated.
We say it every week. You guys are our MVPs.
You guys are the MVPs for sure. Salute, guys. Salute.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, listen.
The wine.
In fact, actually, hold on, Mike.
Yes.
I'll bring this comment up. Actually, should we give DJ Dog the update on this one?
Oh yes. Well, we'll go into the news and updates. We'll strike it straight there then.
Yeah, straight in. Let's go for it.
Yeah. I'm not even going to bother hitting the graphic. We'll just go straight into the news updates. So straight in there's been an addition to the Pro Bowl 5 is officially in, but today, as of about half hour ago, Randy Gregory's entered as an alternate, so that's now 6. And Randy, in fairness, we've been saying all season has been playing at a Pro Bowl level. I think that's fair to say, don't you reckon, Paul?
Absolutely. I think it's thoroughly deserved. Randy Gregory coming back, like having a full-on season. We're seeing his full true potential, what he can do when his head's straight, like without the bravado back happened in the previous couple of years and stuff like that. Now's the time where, like, from us as the Cowboys Nation within Jerry Jones and the organization, we need to get Randy Gregory signed to a longer-term deal.
And he was talking about that when he was starting to strike it rich, shall we say, and was coming off the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's been watching Randy Gregory this season, he's been nothing but an athletic beast in the defensive end role. He's definitely helped elevated, especially that last game there against the Giants, the impact what DeMarcus Lawrence was doing.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's no longer that double team issue now. We've now got a dual threat at both ends of the line, and we've also got the defensive tackles. Doesn't matter who we put in now or the Dan Quinn system. They've been doing
and throw in Micah screaming in.
Yeah, don't forget the defensive player of the year and rookie of the year. Don't forget that. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I am speaking that I truly believe that Micah Parsons is going to be a double award winner. Like, I really do.
I mean, you don't really see it, but it is possible. But here we go then. Let's first of all hit the Randy Gregory talk.
Yeah.
Because we was talking about how Gregory, they need to sign him. They need to get that locked in. But do you think come the offseason when they go into contract talks with him, there will be a bit of a loyalty discount because the Cowboys literally have stuck by Gregory's side throughout all of this?
Yes, I do. But to what certain extent?
Because, I mean, think about it. He was actually, the league, the NFL, abandoned Randy Gregory, said, that is it. You are banished from the NFL, no longer allowed to play. You've failed yet another drug test. You're done. Yeah. And the Cowboys stuck by his side and they kept going and they kept pushing, and they said, no.
No, honestly,
That's got to have some sort of play into it.
It does. It really does. Like, if it was any other team, like, I cannot see Randy Gregory getting the same treatment, love, and admiration from any other team. I really don't. Like, the Jerry, Steven, and everybody at Will McClay and all that, like, there's a reason why Randy Gregory is still part of the team. Like it's not just because of what he's able to do on the football field, but it's just him as a person.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone keeps talking like he is one of the most genuine guys you're ever gonna meet. Like, he's so intelligent, he's so well educated. Like, there's all those things as well, but I think, yeah, like, he deserves a payday, but I think at the same time, I think he will make that money from other revenues outside of his actual sports contract. Jerry will find a way how to pay him outside of the NFL.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
He'll help him out in terms of advertisement deals and stuff like that. So, but yeah, just to kind of point out, a good friend Andy says none of them are going to the Pro Bowl. They will have a big game in Vegas to prepare for.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Telling you,
Positive
man,
mental attitude.
I love the positivity, my friend. Love it, man. Yeah, and he's just a wee follow-up comment. None of them are playing the Pro Bowl because of the SoFi Stadium. Yeah, not
it
Vegas,
is SoFi.
It's in California this year. So yeah,
it is. Yes.
And DJ Dog just brings in the comment here. I think Jaron Curse is another guy that deserves a Pro Bowl recognition. I totally agree.
Yeah,
he's been an unsung hero for our defense this year. And
we will talk about Jaron, actually. We'll talk about him onto the defensive side. Because he plays not just into what he's done on the defense. He comes under the safety position, which is...
that's the thing, though, mate. That's the thing. Like, I think with this whole defense that we've got right now, like, how would you categorize Micah Parsons? Is he a linebacker, DN? I say he's a hybrid. Same goes with Jaron Curse. He can be a linebacker and he can be a safety. He's that hybrid type of style player, like
positionless football.
Yeah, like he's just. Well, sorry, Aaron's just walked in the door, and that's like where the shadow is there. But in terms of so we saw that game. Like, I know we're just talking about Curse, but I'm just in example sake. Micah Parsons, he went into a cornerback mode. Hold on a second.
You're okay. Oh, you can't kick him out.
He was trying to get into the dog treats as his present there.
Okay. Is that the Christmas dog treats?
Mm-hmm. Come on, out. Sorry, guys.
You're all right, man.
I might bring him on the show before we finish up. Maybe he's a good boy.
Yeah, well, he's missed you, mate.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, though, he's been so attached to the Hibs since I came back. But anyway, football. Yeah. Anyway,
back to the Cowboys.
Yeah, so that particular play I was talking about, Micah Parsons, he had a linebacker role there, but he had to adapt and become a cornerback in that one play against Kenny Golladay. And I thought he was absolutely fantastic, like how he just managed to adapt and adjust. And this is the whole hybrid role. And he even came out and said it. So he's like, put me anywhere, I'll play in any position. I can play in the NFL in any position, even at running back. He even said that himself. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
He is, honestly, he is a once in a blue moon generation talent.
He'd probably try and play kicker if he wanted to.
Why get a kicker when you can get me?
But in other news, that's come up, Tyrone Smith, ankle, he still hasn't practiced this week. Tank with a foot has been limited. Tony Pollard, same issue, foot limited. But he was limited last week too, and he still managed to play and rack up some yards. So I'm leaving that one where it is. Other news, though, Osa, he's officially off COVID list as well. So he's back in the building.
Also, according to DG Dodd, there's been some breaking news on the COVID news for the safety position.
Okay.
I haven't received any notifications yet, DG Dog. Can you maybe elaborate on that? Is it Malik Hooker or is it whoever? Like, if you can find it.
Will. I'll find out now.
Where we're live, we'll try and find out as well. So
yeah. But should we move to the Cowboys offense versus the Washington defense? Do you want to get into that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just so that everyone's aware, we're no longer calling Washington the team with no name. They're now regarded as the Washington Copycats or the Washington Scandalists.
Right, let's hit this.
That's on. Okay. So yeah, Malik Hooker is on COVID reserve. That's
okay.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, DG Dog. Much appreciated for the update there. So yeah, breaking news, everyone who's not aware. Thanks to DG Dog and Andy there. Malik Hooker is going to be on COVID reserve. That's a bit of a hit to our secondary.
Yeah. There's also news that Blake Jarwin could very possibly be returning soon too. If he returns for the playoffs, that would be quite interesting.
Double stack.
That 12-man formation would come in handy.
Yeah, 12-man formation. Absolutely.
And we know Blake Jarwin loves to run a seam route from there. So, yes, let's start off from the top then, which is a big topic of conversation at the moment, which is Dak.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it straight out there and give it where it deserves, is that there has been a lot of inconsistency in the offense. You could talk about the drop passes as well last week, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Gallup.
There's something.
And you could talk about the O-line as well, but I will give credit when credit is due. And when Dak has a good game, I'll say he has a good game.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, he's in a dip. He's in whatever you want to call it. And I have to say it where it is that Dak isn't playing well at the moment.
He's not playing.
The mechanics seem to be out.
He's not playing to the caliber that we're so used to seeing him play, like especially in the early part of last year before he got injured and the early part of this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it seems to be that he's trying to force throws and ones that he knows he can't make. The one thing I will say that is very, very clear with what they're doing is defenses have become one-dimensional on Cowboys offenses because the run game isn't there. If you notice,
I wouldn't say that though, Mike. Like we're still producing on average per season. Like for the season so far, on average, we're getting over 120 yards per game on average.
Yeah.
There has been some games where it has dipped down. Maybe like we're only being limited to 70 yards, 80 yards, 60 yards, whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I'm not so too much worried about the run game. Like the difference for me was when we played against the Giants is the difference when, and I hate, like, as much as I hate to admit this, but Connor Williams did contribute a massive change to that, especially in that run game. Like his run blocking, much better than Connor McGovern. I would say Connor McGovern is probably more better in the pass protection than the run blocking.
And less penalties.
But that's when it comes to anything pass protection with Connor Williams, that's when you're kind of like want to turn away and hope for the best, you know?
Yeah. And it just seems to be that when you watch it, all the defenses seem to be doing is playing this deep cover 2 formation against the Cowboys. And they're just going, if you want to beat us, go to the ground or take the short passes. And that seems to be the way it is. And I think the way the Cowboys offense is set up is it's not set up to be this methodical dink and dunk offense, that it just doesn't work. That it's about hitting and striking hard and then going deep.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Nah.
I mean, sorry, my dog is just causing mayhem here right now. Arnie, come on, out, come on, out you go, come on, out. Honestly, sorry.
It's all right.
But in terms of, I really don't know what it is. It's causing this weird bubble right now. Like, I feel like I have no qualms or problems with the run game right now. Like, obviously Zeke is kind of running a wee bit, like lingering with an injury. What do you expect? You're a running back. You're going to pick up these injuries. Like, even Paul's got an injury right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of expect. We're now in that. Oh, sorry, that's the pizza. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You want to continue talking away right now, Mike? I'll...
Yeah. But I mean, like, the one thing that I would say about, because we're saying about how Dak hasn't played well, certainly in the last 4 games. What I would say, though, is that the last game against the Giants, he certainly was much better. He looked smoother, wasn't trying to force the ball. There was opportunity for interceptions, but he was playing a cleaner game, and the mechanics were a lot better, which is really what the main thing I was watching for, was the mechanics. And he just looked like he was more in sync, especially the lower half of his body, which is the main part really of a quarterback's game. But the one part that does confuse me with him is how he still doesn't want to take those shots on the ground, that he doesn't want to run the ball. That still, to me, is confusing.
So we're talking about Dak and his ability to read the play, and if it's not there, then run with the ball.
To run, and he just doesn't seem to be doing it.
I really think, well, I don't really think, but I do have a suspicion, and I kind of talked on this with Brian, and Jamie is completely on the defensive on this.
Okay.
Whenever we're playing against our backs, we seem to kind of be more effective when it comes to being as an offense. Whenever we're leading, we seem to be very mediocre. I tend to feel with I think Brian's going to be joining with us soon as well, which is great. The point is, I kind of feel like Kellen Moore has a specific play set just to keep to himself, like have that repetition before we get to the playoffs. Then he has this whole new repertoire of plays to fire into the playoffs where it's all guns blazing, and not those whoever we're going to be playing is not them flat in our ass, pretty much. So,
well, that you segued into literally the thing I circled as being the next topic of conversation when we speak about Dak, was to talk about Kellen Moore's play calling. Do you think that at the start of the season, Kellen was scheming well, but going deep into his bag, and now he's gone through those plays and he's starting to run out of ideas?
Well, I think that the game against the Bucks, even though we lost that game, some of the plays, like
scheming well,
it was beautiful. Some of the plays were absolutely fantastic to watch. It was beautiful football to watch, but we haven't really seen that being replicated throughout the rest of the season. Like, even that Falcons game, even though we completely dominated that whole game, but it was nothing flashy at all. Yeah. It was just, that's just how bad the Falcons are, really.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it's a very strange one, because, like, and defenses now know how to scheme against what you're trying to put together, what you're trying to do. And I think that also takes into account with what Kellen Moore was doing. At the start of the season, defenses don't know what you're trying to do. So they're struggling. Now they know and they understand and they can defend against it because they've got enough of a sample size, if you like, to key in on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing all the comments right now. So Andy's saying, let's hope the bag isn't empty. Surely smart enough to have kept something up his sleeve. I truly do believe that. But at the same time, like, I'm just not entirely too sure if he's just playing possum or that is it. Like, it's so hard, like, because we're not within the count, like, we're not in that inner circle. It's so, you can only speculate what's going on,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is tricky. We'll see when we get to the playoffs what he's got in his bag and what he can play with there. But moving on to the O-line. What are you thinking about this O-line? Tyrone Smith is 50-50, whether he's going to be playing. I think Connor Williams, you've got to keep him rolling in that position, using Connor McGovern down in the red zone. But at the moment, a big problem the Cowboys have is the red zone. And whenever you look at where things start in the red zone, it's always the O-line. Can you get the O-line to give you a big enough push to either give you enough time or get the ground game moving? I mean, it confuses me that the O-line can look so good for the most part, and then the rest of the time it seems to fall apart. Where do you think it's going wrong with the O-line?
I really don't know, mate. I can't really put my finger on what is actually the exact same actual problem. But one thing I will say is, it's like whenever we meet that one big massive play, it just always gets called back. Every single time. Every single time.
That's true.
Like there's been a few occasions where, like we maybe doing a yard, like a couple of yards, then there's a holding call, whatever on that. But it just seems to be when we know it's a more high priority, more deep route passing play or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it just seems to be all of our O-lines seem to be more edgy and more prone to mistakes because they know it's a big play. They know the ball's going deep and they just end up messing it up. So I don't know if that's how you feel about it, Mike, as well. I mean, I don't know about you guys in the comments as well. Like, do you guys kind of feel like whenever a big play comes in, like a deep route to, say, Michael Gallup, 40 yards down the line, we get called back? Hey, there's Brian. What's happening, brother?
Things.
Like, it just kind of feels as though like every time we run that deep route play, it gets called back. And I don't know if it's just because it's the O-line are feeling the pressure. It's like they just overdo it. They're just thinking too much. I don't know if that's what it is. I don't like. It just this just seems to be something,
And the issue you got is it's the left-hand side of the line for me. That
it's always left-hand side.
Yeah, and defenses no. And like they got Montez Sweat this weekend and Jonathan Allen. And I'm just going through it. The last 3 games, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. So between them two, there's in the last 3 games on its own, from just those 2 guys, 14 pressures and 5 sacks.
That's still worrying to think.
And that's going to be up against our left-hand side of the line.
Yeah, and me and Brian covered this. Like, well, even though we were talking mostly about the Giants, but we had our concerns going on to this game and for this weekend. We are quite concerned about it.
I would say you have a problem from centre out.
Biadasz has looked better, mind. I agree with you that Biadasz has struggled this season, but as the season's gone on, he's gotten better.
He's having fumble issues in the last couple of weeks, and he's he's snapping the ball too high. Dak has had 3 or 4 times a game where he's had to go up. That sets off the rhythm.
Yeah, I think DJ Dog just kind of summarizes what I was kind of saying perfectly. Penalties and drop passes are added to offensive anxiety. I think that's a great way to explain that. Like, it's feeling the pressure, and it's kind of like goes back to what DJ Dog, our good friend of the show, for Cowboys fans only. He's like, we have an A+ offense. There's no doubt about it with Cooper, Lamb, Gallup, the O-line that we do have. Like, we can be an A+ offense, but we are currently performing as a C- right now, overall. And we know we can be better. We know that. So I don't know if we're just feeling underneath the pressure or whatever not, but against this Washington team, man, I have no problem whatsoever. We are going to cause some damage against them, absolutely. But how much damage we're going to cause, that's a different story.
Yeah, and here's the crazy bit too. You know, if we win against Washington and the Bucks or the Cardinals win, we actually go down to 3rd seed. We win and we go down.
Yeah. It's NFL logic for you.
Yes. Welcome to the crazy world of NFL.
Makes no sense.
It's mad, but there we go. Yes, but you know what they say, just take care of what you can take care of, and the rest will figure itself out. The other one I only wanted to lead to, because we know that we're having issues in the run game. We know where that's coming from, and all the rest of it, injuries. They'll slowly work themselves out. The one I wanted to get to, though, is wide receiver drop passes. Do we think that this is just a lull that the wide receivers are in, that it's a concentration issue and they've just got to figure that out? Yeah. Or is there something deeper?
I think it's just lack of I don't know if it's just lack of concentration, but it is a problem. For CD Lamb coming out of college as one of the best catchers to come out of college, dropping passes where it should have been really, really simple, a simple screen pass and one of those deep route passes, which he's renowned for, and he's dropping them. It makes you think it's like something's not right here. Something is not there's no
not being coached.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know exactly what it could be. Like, we're not there at the practices or anything like that. We're just basing this on assumption. I don't know about you, Brian, but that's kind of how I'm feeling towards it.
Yeah, it just seems strange that it's CD Lamb that's having these issues, because Cooper doesn't seem to have these issues. We kind of talked on this on Tuesday, Paul. Cooper seems to catch 80-90% of his targets.
Yeah.
Schultz caught 8 of 8 at the weekend. It's Gallup and Lamb that seem to be having those dropping issues, and that's why I still am hesitant to say that CD Lamb is a wide receiver 1, because wide receiver 1s don't drop balls.
Yeah.
And he did come out on Tuesday and said, "Look, it's on me. I'm taking ownership.
He did.
I'm not passing the buck." But it's still a case of he was pick number 17. You can't be dropping balls like that. You need to be doing better. And look, hopefully he's worked on it over the last couple of days, and he has that comeback game, because it is killing the momentum. Because we're not having that mid-level threat with Lamb, and if you don't have that mid-level threat, you don't have the deep threat with Gallup as well, because you can't. They don't know who to key off then. Do you know?
So I want to kind of bring up what Valenti's in here. Like, Coops only had 15 catches in 5 games. There's a reason for that, though, because they know he is wide receiver number one. He is going to get double coverage, and that's not going to throw that to him. If that's
and bear in mind the recovery of COVID and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that bear in mind as well. And obviously, there's the underlying. Arnie, for goodness sake, sorry.
He's playing the drums.
He is doing my head in tonight. Come on, out.
But the thing about it is, right, you're better off with Cooper being on the field, even if he has only had 3 targets a game.
Yeah.
Because he still, as you said, he attracts double coverage and he attracts the safety help, which then opens the game up for Dalton Schultz, for CeeDee Lamb, and for Michael Gallup. And even the 2 running backs.
I was going to say, it's more important to the running backs more than anything.
So even if he's not fully fit, and this is the thing with Amari Cooper, and this is what I love about Amari Cooper, it's not about him. It's what the team needs from him. Yeah. He doesn't care if he catches no balls in the game. It's just, what can he do? And how can he help out? And I love it.
Yeah. And he is important. And the drop passes, like you say, Bri, it's not just that they're drop passes, because all teams in the NFL get drop passes. The issue that you're getting with CeeDee Lamb is when they're happening. Is that they're happening at times when you need that pass to sustain your drive. And then when the drop pass comes, it completely flattens out. You know, it may sound simple, but, you know, if he's going to catch a short pass and it makes it 2nd and 2, that's a lot better than it being 2nd and 10 because he's dropped the ball.
Exactly.
Because then you can get into a 3rd and long situation, and then that's the drive stalled and it's dead.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening, is that it's happening at times when they really don't want it to happen. Hopefully, like you say, I mean, we're not at training fields. We don't know what they're working on. Hopefully they've seen it and they're working on these things and it'll all work itself out.
Yeah. And look, ultimately, you don't mind a drop pass or 2 so long as we're winning.
It's going to happen.
And you're just hoping that these things will be resolved for the playoffs, because we all love talking about Team 40 Burger, Team 50 Burger. And we know this team has the ability to do that. And we're just hopeful that these last 3, 4, 5 weeks are just that lull, because Kansas City has had a lull. The Bucs are having a bit of a lull at the minute.
Yeah.
Cardinals are screwed.
Cardinals are really struggling.
You know, everyone has their moments, and we're winning games without playing great football. We're winning games without playing complimentary football. And it's just about getting that over the line. Look, if we're 11-4 on Monday morning, I'm happy and I'll take it.
And that's it. It's all done. You know, here's a crazy one. You know, people are talking about like how they were about the Cardinals. They could not make the playoffs the way things are going. That's how crazy things go in the NFL. But let's move on to the defense, because there's quite a bit to talk about there. And then we can move on to the fantasy lounge. Rightio then. So, first things first, the Cowboys officially have now become a defensive team. I don't care what you say. They're a defensive team.
Yeah.
Can you imagine this, right? Can you imagine when we were doing our off-season show, you spoke to your future self at Christmas time and you went, listen, this is what's going to happen. The offense is going to struggle, but the defense is going to be a top 3 defense in the NFL. You go, Mom, my future self is on some weird drugs.
What are you smoking?
Yeah, is what you would say. But that's where we're at. That is exactly where we're at.
In fairness, I did kind of make some smirky comment when we did hire Dan Quinn. I thought our defense would drastically improve under his leadership.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I would never imagine it be bloody elite level.
Yeah, and that's where they're at. I mean, look at the turnover differentials and look at what they're doing. Okay, I mean, let's start from the top. The run defense. That is where things fall down. This is a defense that's built to defend the pass. When you look at it from top to bottom, it's built to defend against the pass. And when you look at it, we do leak quite badly on the run defense. But having Osa back, I think, is going to help. But I'll ask you guys, where do you think the issues are in run defense? Why do we leak? Is it that we're so well built against the pass that we leak in that sense, or is it a scheme issue?
I think it's a bit unfair to say we're weak on our run defense. I think our run defense has improved massively this season.
Absolutely.
No, it has. But I'm saying that if you look at it week by week, it's always we've got an 80 or a 90-yard rusher, 100-yard rusher, or whatever.
Well, I think, don't get me wrong, Justin Hamilton had a good game when he came in, and he did make, but at the same time, he didn't make mistakes. But from when you're bringing in a player from a practice squad, he's not actually been playing within the first team reps as much as like a Bowana or whoever. Like you're bound to make some mistakes, regardless, and it's going to open some doors for the opposing offense. So yeah, I mean, like Brian's saying, I literally don't have any problem with our run stopping defense right now. It seems to be more. It's not so much inside. I'm more worried when the ball goes outside now. Like away from Parsons, the opposite side of Parsons seems to be the more problem when it's running with the ball. If you're running the same direction as Parsons, you might maybe get like a 5-yard upfield, but against them, the opposing side, you're maybe talking about a 15-yard. Like there's that difference,
Yeah.
I think the thing is we kind of highlighted this on a couple of shows ago. I think we've had maybe 1 or 2 100-yard rushers against us. Like a lot of those ago, we were having 6 to 10 a season. Like we have gotten better and reduced, and I don't remember us giving up a huge touchdown off a run play this year in any way. We haven't been, as Paul used to refer to all through last season, we haven't been torched by a fisherman.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the run defense is bad. I'm just saying that in terms of how our defense is, that's the weak spot. That seems to be the issue.
But I am going to disagree. And it goes back to my point. I still think it's always going to be the weaker side of where Parsons situated. Is the more.
Yeah. And I'm going to back this up, Paul, because if you look at it, who's our next best linebacker? I don't think they're on the roster.
I mean, you would say Van Der Esch is the next linebacker, but he's now playing that more middle role sometimes. They're changing it about, but who can actually elevate and have that lateral speed to close down the gap for that running back to move them out of bounds or whatever on that? We don't really necessarily have that. The guy we do have that is on the strong side mostly. So that's the only really negative that I can think of. But if you're talking about the front seven, there's also the weak set, the weak side of our corners as well. And don't get me wrong, there's been moments of pure brilliance, but there's also been moments of pure chaos. So, but it seems to be getting better and better each week. Though, there's less things to complain about the defense, but more things to complain about the offense, as far as I can see right now. And I don't know about how you guys in the comments are feeling about it as well. Let us know your thoughts. Do you feel as though that there's less things to moan about the defense? Is there more things to complain about the offense? Get your comments in, guys.
Well, here we go. We'll talk about the Parsons. I don't know what you want to call it. His future in a moment. But you mentioned about LVE, and the one thing I was going to say is, and we can touch on it briefly and move to Parsons, is that LVE has been fairly quiet this year, but the last couple of games, you're starting to see him a lot more. He is playing better in the last couple of games. And I know that doesn't make up for a lifetime of crap.
The question I then throw at you, Mike, is why has he been playing well in the last couple of games? Because he's in his last handful of games with the Cowboys. He doesn't have a contract next season.
Yeah, no, I know
so
that.
He's stepping it up. And it's the concern that you have with a lot of your upcoming unrestricted free agents.
Sorry, guys, we might actually have some breaking news.
He is.
According to Valenti, Gibson is out.
Yeah.
I will.
And DJ Dog is backing that up as well.
I'll check that now.
Wow, that is massive.
Is that Antonio Gibson or Melt Gibson?
Antonio.
I would like to imagine it being Antonio.
But let's talk about Parsons then. Paul, you mentioned it at the start of the show. Defensive Player of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year.
He's going to win both. I don't care what anyone says.
Come on, then, let's talk about this.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, like if all the like Myles Garrett is just a defensive end, he's got more sacks and whatever. That don't get me wrong, he is a fantastic pass rusher, but with all things considering, what you're doing with Parsons, you've put him at defensive end, you played him at linebacker, and the fact that he's himself reading the play and had to readjust and actually became a cornerback overnight in one or two plays against the Giants. That to me is an elite level player. Is playing at just playing absolutely out of his skin, regardless what position he's playing at. That to me deserves the recognition he deserves, not just for Rookie of the Year, but for Defensive Player of the Year. You can say TJ Watt, you can say Aaron Donald, you can say Myles Garrett, but they stick to their normal position. Yeah. Whereas wherever you put Micah Parsons, he's there no matter what. Inside linebacker, outside linebacker, defensive end, him dropping down to go down to coverage, he's there every single time. What other players doing that? No one. Absolutely no one.
I think what is most notable with Parsons is the speed. And he gets to top speed fast. But, Bri, hit me with the other side of this, because I've said
this is mental
I don't. Yeah, no, the IQ, the football IQ, especially reading the play, that's coming there. That's definitely gotten better and better throughout the year. You're seeing it. He's dissecting the play, but Paul's talking about defensive rookie and defensive player of the year.
And there's Dog just validating what I was trying to talking about, the covering of Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, that you can cover a wide receiver.
Like, man, like that to me just kind of like that play alone just amplified his stock level in terms of him, like, in the name of the hat for Defensive Player of the Year. You know?
Do you see, Brian, a rookie getting both awards?
I do.
You do as well, do you? Okay.
For the same reasons Paul is saying, Micah Parsons is playing elite in multiple positions. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett attract double teams, but they're playing from one position. So teams can't plan for where Parsons is going to line up. And if you flip it back to when we were going through the draft process, I think all of us said, just get me good football players. I don't care where they play, just get me good football players. We have an elite football player in Micah Parsons. As we sort of said on Tuesday's show, Parsons can play. He can play linebacker. He can play defensive end. He's played corner. He's played safety. He could probably play running back and wide receiver if we needed him to.
Yeah. We said he might even play kicker.
Could you play Myles Garrett, Nick, Joey Bosa, TJ Watt, JJ Watt, any of those guys in those positions? No, he couldn't.
Wow, I've got the comment right here. Micah is like a combination of Ray Lewis, Von Miller, and Ed Reed. Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, like, I can see where Andy's getting, like, we don't want him to get the award because he might become too pricey when it comes to resigning him. But at the same time, like he does deserve it. He does deserve it though. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I'm just, as you guys are talking, I'm trying to get some information on Antonio Gibson.
Yeah, it's something to do with a toe injury from what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some info. I'll keep checking while we're talking. Next question for you guys is this the game where Trayvon Diggs matches a certain Cowboys cornerback in interceptions in Everson Wall's 11 interception season?
Yes, because you know what? You want to know why? Because it's going to be playing against Blaine Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what like he's been under our like Lisa Parsons and Diggs and whoever, like everybody else. They're going to know what his traits are.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole training camp, they know what his rhythm is, his release time, how he deals under pressure. They know him. So this is an advantage for us. And I can see, and especially how Washington are coping right now with like I don't think Terry McLaurin is not really doing very too well recently. I think like Diggs is trying to shut him out through that whole game, and he's going to get a pick, at least one anyway, at least one.
And I think, Paul, if you look at the comment there from DJ Dog, it is a short week for Washington.
Yeah.
So
I love it. Thank you, DJ Dog. The Washington copycats. Let's go.
They're going to be tired. They've played Tuesday.
Yeah.
They have to travel out to Dallas on Christmas Day. They're not going to be. They're not going to be. Their body and mind is not going to be in this game at all.
That, like half their roster's still bucketed.
Yeah. And just from what I was reading there, Gibson has turf toe.
Yeah.
Turf toe.
So that's what's holding him out.
He may play. It's not completely ruled out. Yeah. But turf toe, that's one of them nasty buggery injuries that not only can take you out of the game, it can keep you out for multiple weeks till that tendon isn't sore. But you know, we have known players to go out there and play with it, so it depends how severe it is. The other guy on defense I want to talk about, and he came up at the start of the show, is I would say is a guy who's had just as much impact as Micah Parsons, and that's Tyrone Smith.
Yes. Well, like there was a comment earlier, Brian, that for all like from the progression of what Kearse has done and what he's brought to the Cowboys team, he should be within like even a mention for Pro Bowl talk as an alternate.
See, I think Kearse dropped around Thanksgiving. He dropped for a period of about 4 games, and that's probably why he wasn't in there. If you had done this cut off at Halloween, Kearse was definitely in the conversation for the Pro Bowl. And in the last game or two, he does seem to be coming back to that level that he was playing at in terms of, as we used to call it, the tight end killer.
Yeah.
That's what you need to see from him.
We saw that in the Saints game, especially.
Yeah.
He has been the tight end killer, but this is a nice game for him because the tight end is not playing. So, since he went out with that nasty ACL injury a few weeks back, I just think that
backup is also out, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
like I said, the copycats are screwed.
Yeah,
and. You know, for me, Tyrone Smith, it's not just what he does in terms of stalling the offense in terms of the tight end. It's the entire short game, and that he hovers and he he sniffs around in the box, which is really important to have. And from what I'm hearing as well, is that he's just a great locker room guy, that he's got a good attitude, and that, bear in mind that when we were talking about the safety position, we were all going, oh, yeah, they got Kazee, and, they're doing all this. That on the depth chart, you would have said, with Donovan Wilson and all the rest of it, Curse was going to be like the fourth safety.
Yeah,
on that roster.
Like when we signed him, I'm like, it's just more of a squad filler more than anything.
Special teams, maybe. Yeah, that's what you were going for.
But he's been beyond that. Like, he's been given first team reps, and he's been like obviously from that we dumped that we were just kind of talking about. He's been exceptional. He's been making some big, for early part of the season, he was making some big plays, some big hits, some major contribution to the defense, and it's now getting back into that same stride again, where it's really most important before we head into the playoffs.
Yeah.
The question I do have around Jerome Curse, and I'll throw this to you, Mike, because you know more on Donovan Wilson. Did he benefit from the fact Donovan Wilson spent a large part of this season out injured?
I would probably say so.
Would Donovan Wilson have been the starting strong safety, and we wouldn't have known? And as Paul said earlier, Curse would have played on special teams, and we wouldn't be talking about it.
And we would never have known,
Yeah, because effectively, are we not looking at a situation where we have to renew one or both of Wilson and Curse in this off-season? Which is
it could be quite tricky, because, because we know what Donovan Wilson is. We know what he is, and we know what he isn't. And they're the same in some respects to Curse. And it was fun because, we was even talking about it at the start of the season, and we were like, do we get, with the way Curse is playing, do we start him a lot more now? And we're all going, yeah. And then all of a sudden he does. The Cowboys are asking the same questions we were on this show. And then before you know it, he's got a starting role. And then we're going, look how good he's played. To the point now where it's just an expectation. You're just like, oh, Jalen Curse is in. He's going to, he'll figure this out.
Well, the next conversation is do we offer him a new deal?
You have to.
You're going to have to at some point.
You're going to have to. Yeah, you can't let that walk.
Yeah, especially if he fits into the mold of the Dan Quinn system,
Yeah.
And the other question you then have to ask is, what do you do at free safety? Because you also have two guys there who, Kazee played well at the start of the season, and Hooker is starting to come on strong now. Well, and neither of them are there next season as well.
Well, Hooker's going to miss this game. He's now in COVID protocol now. Yeah. So, I think Casey's okay to go, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Casey he'll be starting. So this be more. I'd say if I was KZ, I'd be more it's like I want to reclaim my starting role again and push myself. Like he'll be it's everyone's still fighting for a position. It doesn't matter if 53 man still based on your contract and based on your position in the team. Everyone wants to fight and be a starter.
You got to think though that this isn't really the game for a deep safety, because Heineke doesn't have a deep ball. It's a West Coast offense is what they play.
Even still, they can still drop down and make some major hits when it comes to the run game.
Is the next point I was going to make. Yeah. So can you get him to come and play downfield?
And I think
because you got Terry McLaurin, who is a deep threat. That is Scary Terry lives downfield. That's his bread and butter. But the trouble is he's got Heineke throwing him the ball, and he can't hit him. He can't get to him.
He's got digs on him.
And he'll have digs with him.
But what I will say is, it's like, if there's one thing that I thought KZ was really effective on, was his downplay in the run game. I thought, especially when it came to, and I keep using this game as a reference, I still thought one of our best games, even though it was a loss, was against the Bucks. I thought some of the defensive football we played and some of the offensive football we played, it's probably one of the most entertaining games I've seen for a wee while. And I thought Kazee had a really good game during that. especially when it came to defending the run. He was coming downfield. He was making some contributing hits. So if he can get it back to that form, fantastic. And plus, we're not up against Antonio Gibson. We're up against Jared Patterson, who's the backup. Yeah. So we shouldn't have too many worries. But
Patterson could go off.
No, Parsons going to go off. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Patterson
is a dangerous running back. You'd underestimate him, and he'll burn you. I know he's only a rookie, but I've seen him in college. I'm sure, Mike, you've seen plenty of him in college and scouting. Yeah. And boy, if he gets up, if he starts moving, we could be in trouble.
So what type of wheels? So I'm not fully aware of Jared Patterson at all. So what type of is he more of a type of running back, like he's running off to the sideline, or is he more of an inside line running back?
He's more of an outside. He can get outside, turn the corner, and up the field, and he could kill you.
Right. So this kind of goes back to my point, where if we're running against the opposite side of Parsons, that's where I'm concerned. That's I think that's where KZ needs to drop down, is to the weak side of the ball and give that extra protection. Yeah. That's where I kind of see it going.
Yeah. You'll have to diagnose that in game.
Yeah.
From KZ playing out at the safety spot.
Force them out wide to the sideline. Force them out wide. Make sure you do not give them the edge to turn up inside.
Yeah.
I'll try and get his 40 time for you guys, so you can take a butcher's. Easier if I do it that way. Right, here we go. Patterson. Damn it. Nah, they haven't got it listed.
452.
There you go. I was trying to find it myself. So it's not too bad. It's a respectable time.
Yep.
But he was a free agent. He's an undrafted free agent. But he does have wheels. His biggest issue is his height weight. That's why he went undrafted. Because he's like 5'8" and sub 200.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a comment from DG Dog. Kind of saying, I agree with Brian. Patson's an all-purpose running back. Also McKissick. Actually, McKissick's decent as well, to be honest.
He's on concussion protocol.
Oh, see, protocol, right?
I didn't think he was going to be playing at all. That's why I was kind of leaning more towards watch out for Patterson.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And it's available as a fast receiving running back. Right. Okay.
But let's do this then, and everybody at home, give us your comments on this. What do you think the final score is going to be? I'll give you mine, and then we'll get Paul and Brian's.
Is that not part of the fantasy lounge, though?
No. We'll do the scores, then we do the fantasy lounge. Don't you tell me what to do. Don't you tell me what to do. All right, then.
Go.
So I'm going to go with 28-17. The final score to obviously the big D. So give me yours then, Mr. Paul. What do you think the final score is going to be?
18-10 Cowboys.
Oh, all right, Brian.
32-19 Cowboys.
Respectable. So you think the offense is going to get the wheels turning again?
I think they're going to start cranking back into gear.
Okay.
No, wait,
momentum coming back in.
Sorry, I'm trying to recalculate what I just said there. Did I say 18?
18-10, you said.
That's not going to work. 21. 21-10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
DG Dogs went for $30-10. Dak wins bet this week. Valente is going for 23-13, and the biggest one of all is our good friend Joe from Italy. He's went for Dallas 45, Deadskins 10. Don't forget, they're not the Deadskins, they're the copycats now.
Yeah.
And
that have no name.
And
going for a close one.
Oh, wow, he's went for a really close one, Andy, with 24-21, Dallas.
Interesting.
Okay, very interesting.
Right, let's hit the fantasy lounge and we can wrap things up, ready for Christmas.
Hey.
Smoky folks. So this is easy. Play along at home as well. It's just a bit of fun that we finish the show up on. Fantasy Lounge. So I go to NFL.com, get the players' fantasy figures for the week, round the scores off, and you just tell us. It basically is a game higher or lower. So all you got to do is if you think the score is going to be more than, then give us a boy, oh boy. If you think it's going to be less than a fantasy score, give us an oh boy. So we'll start off with Dak, 19 fantasy points. Is that a boy, oh boy, or an oh boy?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I think our run game's actually going to be more effective, to be honest.
All right, okay, I'll go with that. All right, what are you going for, Bri?
I'm going to give it a boy, oh boy. I think Dak is going to have a better game this week, and I think he might throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns.
I like it.
Right, so we had Valenti, he's went with oh boy, and we had Joe going with boy, oh boy. So we're 2 for 2.
Okay.
So we're split on that one.
All right, then. Taylor Heineke, 14 fantasy points.
14 is quite low.
Cowboys defense.
I think that's going to be an oh boy.
I'll go with oh boy. Like I can see it being maybe like 9 or 10 points based on how their offense is operating with all the injuries and how they're operating now. So I think, oh boy.
On a short week.
And a short week. Yeah, there's all those factors to play for. So, it's unanimous. Everyone's saying, oh boy.
All right, then. Zeke, 12 fantasy points.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm saying it from the get-go. He's going to get a touchdown at least, and he's going to get more than 60 yards.
All right, then. I like that.
Before you go, we'll wait till everyone else gets their comments in for Zeke.
All right. Now, the next one was going to be Antonio Gibson, but obviously that could be an issue. So should we just stick with it for now until...
Yeah.
We'll just stick with it because it's possible he could play. So let me just recap there. So Valenti and Joe have also went with boy oh boy above 12 fantasy points for Zeke. So all right, Antonio Gibson then, if he plays, bear in mind if he does play, he'll have turf toe. So we'll be running with that. So let's assume he's on the field and he has that. They're giving him 15 fantasy points, and this was pre-injury report, mind.
Okay, so I want to know who the fuck was actually smoking the good weed over there in Washington. I bet he was that same news reporter that actually called the Dallas Cowboys complacent when it comes to the benches. Bloody copycats.
I'll see if I can find the next Washington running back.
Straight away, oh boy. From Valenti.
Yeah.
He was in there like a cat.
he was like a dog on a bone with that one.
Oh yeah.
It's just going to be difficult at the moment to predict the...
Joe went with oh boy.
Yeah, it's just difficult to predict since the news has come on during the show about Antonio Gibson being out. It's going to be hard now to predict what the running backs are going to be doing for Washington. But let's go to Amari Cooper.
Okay.
He's on 12 fantasy points.
I'm going to go with an oh boy there because, again, the targets are down a little bit and he'd need to get a touchdown to get to 12. And I would say it's more likely we're going to have a Dalton Schultz touchdown, a CeeDee Lamb touchdown, and Michael Gallup touchdown, and possibly a Zeke touchdown.
I second that. I second that motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, boy.
Yep, and Valente again. He's with old boy, so we're 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? Do you have a vote on that? Boy, he's winning big.
Go on.
No, well, okay.
Don't forget, Joe did predict a 45-10 scoreline, so
that's
Yeah,
right.
so
He's back.
He's sticking by his guns.
Yep.
Yeah. I like it, Joe. I like it.
Love it, Joe. I love it, man. I love it.
Scary Terry, 10 fantasy points.
I'd say that's even.
I'll give him a boy on that.
I think that's a fair estimate. I can't really see, if you said it was 11, I would have said oh boy. If it was 9, I would have said boy oh boy. But I think 10's actually quite a good fair estimate.
So here it is. I'll give it to you this way. He averages just over 12 points a game, but the last time he got close to that was week 10.
And that was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So I would be more leaning towards the old boy.
He had a 9-point game, a 5-point game, a donut against us last time.
Okay, so I just want to flag this up. So Valente is going absolutely berserk in the comments. He wants us to do CD Lamb.
So,
do you have CD Lamb in there in your list?
Okay. Well, then let's do Carter, and then we'll move on to the other side. So he's on 7 fantasy points.
Carter. I don't really know too much about the guy, to be honest. So
he's fast.
I'm going to say the obvious question: Carter, who?
Yeah.
No, I mean he is fast.
I'm sorry, I honestly don't even know who it is.
Oh, DeAndre Carter.
Again, don't even know who the fuck he is.
Don't even know. Don't know at all.
Okay.
So, that's an oh boy.
The team with no name with a player we don't even know about. How convenient.
He's fast. He is a quick wide receiver. I will give him that. And it seems to be them, those speedy wide receivers that can cause us problems. But all right then, CD Lamb.
Right. So
13.
So 13 fantasy points, you say?
Yes, 13.
Oh, 13.
Lenty's been going nuts.
Wow. So I'm trying to recap. So I don't know.
Valente was saying 6, was it?
Yeah. So you were saying 6. I don't know if that's based on ESPN or Yahoo Sports, but this is based on NFL.com's estimates.
Yes, it is,
but yeah, if it's above 6, then definitely there's a boy, definitely a boy or boy. But if it's 13, I think that's a fair estimate. I'd say 13.
Yeah.
I think
just so you're aware, they projected him at 12.86 points for the week. But I've rounded it as I do every week. It's easy just to round things off.
Yeah, it's always easier to round it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got a boy or boy from Joe, based on the 13 fantasy points. So Valente, what is yours, my man? Based on if it's 13 fantasy, is it boy or boy or oh boy? Let us know, and we'll finish this up.
And then that's it, all wrapped up in a neat little Christmas bow for Christmas. Yes.
I will want to do one thing though.
Go on.
Is how many takeaways we're going to get this weekend?
2.
I'm going 3.
Okay. I think it's going to be a high 5.
Ooh!
I'm going interception and a forced fumble.
Right, so Valente's now went with boy or boy with CD Lamb, and he is going with 2.
Yeah, there we go. Beautiful.
Randy Gregory is going to be hungry this weekend.
Oh yes.
I think he's going to feed.
Right. So I got my Mystic Mac prediction spot on last time when it came to Neville Gallimore. I got it spot on. He was going to get at least 3 tackles and a sack. He did that. This week, I'm going with Micah Parsons. He's going to get 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, and potentially he's going to get his first interception as well.
Okay.
So Parsons this is going to be his game where he solidifies his player of the year again. Mark my words.
All right. Well, that neatly wrapped up, guys, and tied up. Just a very quick one. If you're going to be going to a game, and it's probably more than likely going to be next year now, make sure you book it with Cowboys Experience. They got game day packages, meet and greet, tailgate parties, stadium tours, and everything in between. And all you've got to do to get something a little extra special is say the word UK Cowboys. Because what happens, guys?
You get free stuff, guys.
And you get chocolate pudding.
Yes.
As if you're rich.
Yeah. We can't say too much, but there are plans for in a couple of years if things stay on the path that it's on. So we're just waiting to see, because with Rona and all the rest of it, it seems to be cutting up all our plans, which includes the Super Bowl party. It's still going ahead as far as we're concerned, but be prepared that things may change.
Yeah, so guys, if you're planning ahead to come to Glasgow, just kind of be aware, because obviously the different...
It could all change.
It could change with everything that's going on right now. So
yes.
we'll keep you all updated, let you know what's going on. Be sure to stick to the Facebook group page and also on Twitter, and we'll keep you updated.
Yes, but apart from that, that's me finished with. So Merry Christmas, everyone. And I'm going to let these guys finish off the show, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thanks, mate. Well, you guys have a nice Merry Christmas, and thanks for sticking by with us for season 3 all this time. And we'll see you hopefully fit today after Christmas as NFC East champs. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
Have a great Christmas, everyone, and we will see you Tuesday night to celebrate another victory.
That's the important one. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good one.